How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to go over college football 26 and how it looks. If you pre ordered above the standard edition, you will have access to the game on Monday, the 7th. So, some things that you need to be aware of. The first one is real coaches are in the game now. That's kind of something that's new. Wear and tear has changed. So, wear and tear you will have to actually rotate your players now a little more than last year. Last year, they could kind of recover. This year, they have a full season tank that they can pull from. But once that tank hits zero, they can't recover anything. A lot of them last year, I feel like the running backs would kind of go out and dominate, and running quarterbacks would be dominant. And then all of a sudden, they could fall. Everybody else would just fall off. This year, it's not like that. You have a tank that you will have to manage and sub in and out. I think we're going to see the most on it for people with running quarterbacks or people who like to run the ball a lot. It's going to force them to actually throw the ball. There is a lot of football fundamental advancements. The biggest one being the blocking. So they have changed it to where blocking it'll reward players with the left stick skills between your offensive line will now not try to just square somebody up, but they'll block half a man and then work up. That's the biggest difference that I've seen in a lot of early gameplays, which I'll show you real quick. All right, so as I keep talking, I'm just going to kind of have a running gameplay of the game between Ryan Williams and Bordeaux. Shout out to Bordeaux. He's a big college football YouTuber. Again, I'm choosing this content from EA that they put out. As you can see, Stadium Pulse is a little bit different. The option is a little bit different. I don't like, and I'm going to back this up here. I do not like that the outside blocking, he pushes them, and he still has an advantage to block, but doesn't. I don't necessarily like that, but I think that's something that will be fixed. Here, you can kind of see all the players are truly different. The cornerback, that's something that's big that I feel like isn't being talked about right here, is that was a tip pass. And there were a lot of times where you would tip a pass and your safeties or your DBs would not react to it. He immediately reacts to it because it gets tipped down to him. I think that's something that's pretty big here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So let's back this up and slow this down a little bit. Put about 25% speed. The biggest thing you want to notice here is when he goes to hand it off, he's not squaring him up. Again, the center is getting that inside half of the tackle there, working up. The guard tries to do the same thing, gets shoved off. You have the pulling guard misses, takes a bad angle, but the disruptor, that's where this is going to actually come into effect. There won't be just some weird kind of rub off that we saw last year. He's actually going to push out the way. The guard that missed immediately re-engages, which is something that is going to be way different because normally the guard would miss and stumble and wouldn't re-engage. Something that's interesting is 71 here, and I do want to go back to that. 71. He wins. The running back's clearing. 71 is attempting to work up and re-engages. Now, it's not a great tackle, but it's still the point of if he was coming from the right, he's picking him up. That juke is different. So it's not so much a stamina juke anymore as it's been. You can do a slight footstep, kind of like a left stick butterfly run from NCAA 14, where you put your foot in the ground and move. So that is something that's different in this year's game for sure. Something else I want to highlight on is there's a lot of other formations. What I still don't think, and again, this is going to be kind of a want for the future, is watch this DB right here. Again, you're at the end zone, and he's still running back, like full sprint backwards. And right here, he's still running back, and he's only stopping because the receiver's stopping. I don't really enjoy that. I think you're not going to play that. Like all the DBs have their backs to the ball right now, which is something I don't really like. And I think you can probably change with a lot of the safety mechanics and where they actually stop and hitch up at. That's going to be something big here that's is going to have to be taken into account. So again, that safety actually plays it, but again, he's turning in the end zone. He turns back once he gets halfway, so I'm not angry at that. This DB just completely has his back to the ball, which is something that I think needs to be changed. But I think that's going to be a lot to do with safety alignment and zone dropping. And of course, there's more player celebrations than there's been in the game recently. You'll unlock those as you keep going. So something, let me go back to the beginning of that play. So this is a list of all of them. Again, a bunch of celebrations. All right, so he's getting burnt here. Diving catch. Okay, last year, the diving catch would lead to a drop almost every single time whenever you would have somebody else near, because this corner would automatically hit and it would be a drop. So that's something that has definitely changed. Quarterback revamp. Quarterbacks play a little more like their play style. He gets a good fake and then actually will throw the ball now instead of it lagging. You see DJ Lagway here with his sidearm throwing motion, gets the throw out sideways. This is something that's been kind of huge here. They also changed how quarterbacks can run out the pocket. He's running out the pocket, still looking to throw, and again, sidearm, as you could see right here. He's throwing that little sidearm. As opposed to Arch Manning, whose arm angle is a little bit higher. That's something just to take note of in the game. And so I'm sure the sidearm throw will probably be faster, but we'll have to see. All right, the next thing. So something to take into account here is watch this flat. If you threw this flat right now in 25, you're getting a very inside ball, or you're getting a ball close to the sideline where you can't do anything. He throws it upfield. He's able to catch it, and his receiver immediately turns upfield to block. That's a little more smooth than last year's game, I feel like. This is a good example of they've tried to focus on wide open picks are picks this year. If you see this pass, this is a pick. All day, every day, it doesn't matter. This is a pick. EA wanted to focus on that, and they made sure picks. This is something that's going to be way different, especially with the eye angle of the DB, how you have to be looking at the ball to pick it. Short picks are short picks. This could have been dropped or like broken up last year. Not this year. This will be a pick. So quarterback field vision. So quarterbacks will have a pocket. And if you're like 5'9", 5'10", 6'5", your windows are going to be a little bit different. So as you go through, you're actually going to not be able to see some targets as they go downfield. Their buttons will disappear. Drew Aller, as you can see, he's easily throwing over everyone, and the throwing motion is even different just between these two. He has to step up, throw around. It's a little more of a lofted throw because he's got to get it over the line. Again, Drew Aller is not. He's 6'5". He's just going to drop it right over. He's perfectly fine. A nice low ball. Then someone 5'10", 1 inch taller is, again, he's going to move to that open pocket. You can throw to the open pockets. I do want to. So he opened his zone on the left side and is going to throw it there. Let's see. Here's my example. You can kind of see it fade based on where they are. I'll slow it down a little bit. So as you can see how this one kind of fades out, because it fades out when he's behind the line. So if he's 5'9", he's not going to be able to see this. This one's open because you have the gap here and here. This guy's blocked by his tackle. This one is still open because the tackles came down. So he opens back up. Notice how triangle there closes back down because he's crossing over the guard. So again, if you're going to do a dynasty, if you're doing ultimate team, if you're just doing a play now, quarterback height matters. You're going to want to recruit taller quarterbacks. This is okay. So this pass, in NCAA 25. Most of the time, it could be a pick depending on how you threw it, because sometimes this DB would jump 20 feet in the air. This guy's burnt. I mean, that's a touchdown every day. The RPO is different. The player will not play the other player. The player will play his zone, which is something that's been different in games past. He reacts down. He starts reacting to the throw. See, the player played his assignment and then ran out. He just didn't automatically run. Cuts up field. Still tackles there. No eyes, no picks. This is what I was talking about earlier. You can throw the ball downfield without the DB seeing it. If the DB's looking at the receiver and the ball's thrown here, this past year, this is a pick all day, every day. It was one of the most aggravating things how it could be a pick, and now it's fixed. So this is a big W for deep passes. I think we're going to see that right here, matter of fact, where the DB's not looking, receiver shows hands, catches it. So this is one where a lot of people weren't happy with your man identifiers. So the cheese blitz in NCAA that's been there, even in Madden, that has been unfixed, is you'll have the double A blitz and you'll walk the other backer up or safety up. And you stand your safety right here in the middle to confuse the center. You can now identify them as a false guy, don't block him. So if you see the user trying to throw off your line, identify the false blitzer, and they will ignore him and open up to everyone else. He also doesn't identify anyone, and he blitzes more than you can protect. The drag's there. He just it took a little long to open up. Again, slide protection's still there. That's nothing new here. This talks a little more about how gaps will work. So you see they're opening up the run lane. Let me see if I can get the pre-snap gap here. So like gaps are a little bit wider. Everybody's gap is different here, depending on where you go. So he's going to scrim with his quarterback. That guy's double teamed. He's not immediately getting off, which is different because normally the right trigger or would automatically make them disengage. They're not automatically disengaging anymore. So you actually have time. This is a bad pass. Nobody catches here. Let's turn this playback speed back up. So the spin, I do want to talk about the spin because that was something that was big last year. You're also able to throw that drag. This drag's a little bit different too. The drag will be a little bit deeper. Now he's truly dragging that front 2 yards. Catching it in that window again. That's important here. The spin, I think they're going to have to make the DBs right a little bit more, but user tackling is going to be huge again. So coach adjustments, again, defensive motion response is different. All this stuff is the same. RPO, option read, all that stuff's the same. You can change safety depth. So again, you can do prevent. You can say how wide they're going to be, how short they're going to play. So you can make your safeties come all the way down. And this could be cover 4, and you better have some speed. They show it here a lot. How the safeties have come down. Let's see if we can get an actual. So safeties are high here. Corner. Nobody's there to fix it. You'd have to change your safeties. So again, what I was talking about in the years past, the guys would just stay turned around. They're not going to turn around here. You can change it, and that's something that you're going to have to do in the game. Wear and tear updates. This is the quick sub. You can sub for the next play. This is going to be something that you're going to have to use. Running back is the big one. Your receivers, it's probably a smart idea to go ahead and sub in and out, but you're going to have to do that. Each hit stick will mean more and more. Let's see. What else? So yeah, your defensive control upgrades. You can actually break up passes a lot easier now, because there are sometimes where it would normally be a tight end that would get it, but he'd do a catch like this and then just fall down. The ball actually flies out because that's what would happen anyway in real life. Let's see. I'm trying to. So this is another thing that I do want to talk about. The quarterback's rolling out to his right, turns around, sets up to throw left. College football, you can't do this. It's a horrible rule. Or it's a rule. Don't throw across your body like this. That's what he does. He throws left, sets his feet. He's not throwing on the run. He actually sets his feet and throws left. He was able to stop that safety and actually pick it off. This past year, he would have probably stopped about here and ran back. It's letting you stop early now. So which is going to be something that's different in the future. So this is something that was kind of big here. Notice he still made his guy run upfield, but because of the stadium pulse, with 1 minute left, he couldn't throw it. Stadium pulse is improved. He could not throw it here. He has to force it here. It's a pick. Again, your DB doesn't see it. He's not going to pick it. That's why this ends up being completed. Linebacker doesn't see it. It's going to be a catch. Here, users are going to be different because, again, yes, he's holding out his arms to try and catch the ball, but it doesn't really matter because he takes a bad angle. You got to get back, but it's not in range. There's that little window, that little pocket, and it's a touchdown. So, again, all in all, it's going to be a different game. Defense got a huge upgrade, and it's something that you need to focus on if you have not already. The safety matchups will be huge. There will be some videos dropped about how to kind of fool your opponents and the different offensive playbooks and offensive plays that are going to be in the next game. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time, and it'll be the first intro video to College Football 26 on Monday. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.